Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. We are pleased to be joined by Rasmus Lindh. Of course, was of course announced a few weeks ago as as one of the drivers for HMD's Indy Lights program. And welcome back to the road to Indy.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Of course, we saw. First off, how are you?
I'm great. Can't complain.
Of course, we saw you in a lot of IMSA stuff in the this last few years, and of course, I think you'll still be in some way, shape, or form over in that world. First off, what was that like to get the opportunity to come back to an open wheel car?
No, I mean, I cannot start of all, thank Garage XYZ enough. They're the guys that made this possible. And also HMD Motorsports and Dale Coyne Racing for putting this program together. And it just feels great to be back in an open wheel car where I feel like I belong a little bit more. Feels a bit more like home for me. No, it's just great. Can now settle in a little bit with all the testing now coming up. And yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, going into with all the testing coming up in the next few months, what's that going to be like? With you, because you guys are going to be everywhere and testing all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, Cooper has a little bit of a situation on tires at the moment because they're not the supplier we're going to use for 23. So it's a little bit mismatch of different compound on tires. But I mean, testing is testing, right? So it's just kind of settle in with your engineer and all of that. So no, it will be exciting. Just go to some new tracks. We're going to Phoenix, testing there, and just figuring out some different tracks and settle in for the season.
And of course, if you haven't missed it, the Indy Lights series will be going back to Firestone as the tire supplier, they kind of rebranded the USF series together, and they'll be all, of course, using the Cooper tires as well. So going into this season, I know that going back there, you have a lot of teammates. It's going to be. Does it take some getting used to getting back in these cars again? Because I know you were driver coaching when we last talked to you in Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, I drove the lights car last time at the Griffiths test a year ago now,
Yeah.
and I did 2 races with Ricardo Juncos back into 21, and I mean, it's a little bit different beast of a car than the sports cars I've been driving, but I mean, it takes maybe a session or two, and I'm back in it really. It's just getting used to all the power again and all the downforce really. Otherwise, I mean, the speed is there after a session for sure.
Yeah. Going into this, I know the schedule hasn't been released yet, but going into what to expect, it's going to be a lot of the same places that you're going to be going to. A lot of the similar tracks that you went last year. Obviously, Detroit will have a new layout going from the island to downtown. I think really that's really the only change, but that you're going to see. But a lot of these places that you've been to, a lot of these places you haven't been to.
Yeah, I mean, so it's going to be a little bit different for us. More street courses. It's exciting, I think. A little bit more ovals, bigger ovals. We're going to Iowa probably.
Yep.
So yeah, it's going to be exciting. I mean, it's new tracks. It's always exciting, especially for me, that I haven't been to. I just think it's exciting that they mix in more different tracks, not the same as we do year after year. So I think it's exciting.
And there's going to be a lot more drivers out there too. From of course HMD will have 9, and Andretti I think is probably going to have 4. There's probably at least a few more entries that are still going to be announced, but we're looking at almost 20 cars at Indy Lights, probably the most we've had in a long, long time.
Yeah, I mean, we at the Griffiths test we were 17 cars, so I mean, it will probably be at least 17 cars, right? So I think it's very exciting. It's very fun to see how the series has grown in the last 2 years since COVID. And just all the everything that's more attractive now with the lights. So I think it's very exciting that the series is growing this fast in that short period of time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, coming from, of course, being from Sweden and all that. What's it been like to race in the States and do all the things here? And what makes this, because you've been in there, you've raced IndyCar, you've raced sports cars, you've probably done a lot of racing in Europe as well. What is that like to just come here and race in the States, just whatever car it is?
Yeah, so I did my first open wheel year was 2018. So I went straight to the US and used F2000. So I never raced on all the big tracks in Europe, but I did a lot of European FIA races in Europe in karting. So no, I mean it's I think it's the little bit different in the US is that feels a little bit more raw. You know, it's the tracks are not as high advanced as a FIA track. Um, so you cannot really drive on 110% on your limit all the time because you don't, if you do a small mistakes, you're in the grass, you're in the wall, or it's, you need to back out a little bit. Um, Comparing to Europe, where you can drive on 110%, and you can, if you do a small mistake, you can go on the big runoff that they have all over the track. So I think that's the biggest difference.
Yeah, and really just with the, I mean, being in these cars, what's really going to? I don't know if you've raced. How do you think the with the new tire coming in there? How do you think that's going to really, change some things?
No, I think it'll be exciting. I think it's everybody's kind of going back to zero and everything, so it's going to be new for everybody. Nobody knows really what to expect. I mean, they've done some testing on the tire, and we just have some small details on that, but that's it really. So I think it will be exciting, you know. So all the teams will probably, so whoever figures it out first, it's going to be faster in the beginning, of course. But I think we will be pretty good because we will have so much data in HMD motorsports. I mean, we have almost half the field, right? So yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah. Um, what's it going to be like to have eight teammates?
Um, to be honest, it's been working out pretty good. It's like, so they're splitting up the team. It's like two teams. So doing like one trailer is four cars and the other is five. Um, so it's working out pretty good. We are all working really well together. So we tested also in Barber a week ago now. Um, and it's just been going really well, and the team is working really well together. So the only thing is you don't want to show your strength to everyone this early in testing, because for sure I'm going to be racing one of these guys for the championship. So you just have to be a little bit smart to show your strength and weakness on testing like this.
For sure. Um, just a curiosity, how much are you guys testing?
We are testing quite a bit actually. So we did one day now in Barber, and we probably have four or five more this season before the end of the years. And then I think Firestone are doing a test in January. So yeah, it's a lot of testing, which is good, perfect for me to get up to speed and all of that.
Yeah. And then just going into the season, what's it going to be like? Just what track are you most looking forward to going to?
I'm excited for the ovals. I'm a big fan of the ovals. I think it's great, and I think you need a skill to go very fast on an oval, and to nail that perfect qualifying run. I think it's very exciting, and yeah, I'm excited for the ovals and also the street courses. We're going to Nashville probably in Detroit, and
Yeah,
it's quite a few new tracks for me. So I'm just like all over excited.
for sure. All right. Well, Rasmus Lindh, thanks so much for catching up with us and talking with us, and best of luck this season. We'll have you on probably before the season to kind of preview it ahead again, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Thank you very much.